Hello everyone, and welcome to our next installment of Medtech Evolution Webinar 10.4.4. My name is James, and in today's webinar, we will delve into the exciting way that Medtech simplifies assistance with your accounts enhancements feature. Focusing really on some common areas there that we see generally in the account balance and account holders. So there's a few items there. Obviously, the ability to batch and send IMC claims for IMC invoicing, restricting the retransmission of already transmitted to Medicare Online, ability to batch and invoices and send the batches to Medicare, and then the actual batches tab details and batches screen themselves. So we'll obviously focus first and foremost on our account enhancements screen themselves. So you can already see that I've already entered a patient into the patient palette. For those who just need to get a bit of a recite, obviously that's Control F2. So moving forward, obviously the first thing we want to do is go into the module tab because we've got our patient there, Sherry Sales, already set up. So we move into the module palette and we select module, over into accounts, and then opening up that obviously that patient account. So that's a Shift F9 for those that are interested in the shorthand key. So the next item we do is obviously do a quick refresh of the account balance. So now that we're on the patient account screen, we pretty much click Actions, and then there you are there. So we'll just do a quick refresh. And there you can see that we've done a refresh there on the patient account screen. Just some outstanding features, obviously on the patient account widget that you may or may not be aware of. We've obviously got the different tabs there with the account screens, and then you've got your outstanding, patient, bulk bill, if you're going to repat, third parties, the IMC patient, and the IMC account for sale, so for Sherry. So the next thing we're going to do is actually just go through quickly how to batch and send the IMC claim for an IMC invoice. So again, we go into module, over to accounts, and then over to, you can sort of see there's an Alt. You can either do the shorthand, click on the Alt F9, or you've got the new invoice claim there. And there you can see the ability there that brings it, basically prompts you for the new checkbox that's been introduced to the IMC screen to batch IMC invoice and open the Eclipse Online screen for claim to Medicare Online. So obviously from here we have to go through the procedure of obviously filling out the IMC invoice before we can actually send the claim. So we'll just quickly do a quick fill out. So you've got your payment level, so we're obviously going to register it as an IMC claim. You've got your different types of claims in the IMC options. So standard agreements claim would be the sort of common claim type. And sort of just working through like what type of hospital. So I've just put a little test hospital in there. The admission details. So we'll do as close to our live date as possible. So there we are. So it actually doesn't reference the correct date, but and what we believe is going to be their date of discharge from the relevant hospital facility. I suppose the most important area here that we probably need to cover before we do a send off is obviously your details here with your service. So in this particular scenario, you can sort of see there's already some pre-filtered areas there. So let's just do a standard hospital consult, where if we fill out all the relevant information sort of here, we'll be able to, it'll already start calculating how we want to do before we send off the claim. So there you can see the information there on the patient scene, and then some of the information there that's part of the referenced referenced billing charges. So I guess it's a good idea to have a quick look and just be aware of the tabs here that are talking about. So your non-duplicates, if you want to click or uncheck those, as well as obviously your sort of outstanding balance. So obviously, in order to make sure that we check, do the final checkbox and do a send claim, as soon as you check that and you press OK, this will obviously batch the invoice and open up the Eclipse online screen to transmit the IMC claim to the Medicare Australia online. Just a quick note, if the IMC invoice is batched in the IMC batching screen, then the send claim checkbox will not display in the IMC invoice. So I'll just OK that for now. And there you've got some information there where we've obviously got to filter out and fill out that we currently didn't, just about their sort of surname, their Medicare number, the details that you would have to fill out in general. So there you can see a little brief snapshot of, obviously you'd have to update that to the patient, and there's just that little note there that it says that it's going to come up to the patient register. A known necessity for the accounts team and obviously the front desk team is obviously the ability to batch multiple selected invoices. So 10.4.4 has made this a lot easier by going in and adding this from a location base. So it's basically setup, location settings, click on the asterisk, or you can always go to the new, go into posting and account details tab, and then you'll see a precursor that basically allows you to send batches to Medicare on batch close off. So this is obviously important necessity, for that batching process for multiple. Just a quick note. Obviously, the Medicare Australia online report will then print to the report manager for the relevant logged in provider. It's obviously important that you click OK, obviously when you're closing off those batches. So we'll do that now. And then obviously it's asking me to enter the relevant batching code. So now I'll take you through another change, pretty much the IMC Batches tab in the IMC Batches screen. So what we'll do is just select module, and then again accounts, and obviously we've still got the same functionality that's involved in the batching tab there, where you've got the various items that are unbatched in the form of Medicare, repat, outstanding batches, easy claim, and then you've got the batch history. But what I just wanted to show you was the IMC batching. So I'll just go into there and accounts, and then obviously Control-I, the short key. And obviously we've got our existing unbatched IMC claim there. So just obviously moving forward, sort of in the earlier versions, all the batches were displayed in either the batch history or in both outstanding IMC batches and the batch history tab. So now it's simplified to just the IMC batches tab, which is a good additional feature. Obviously, clicking on the close off button after selecting the invoices that you want to select should batch the invoices and display it in the batches tab there. So what I might just do is just show everyone the IMC batches tab and sort of broaden eyes what that looks like. Obviously, you've got obviously you've done your close off and the invoices are ready for the batch. So just to take you through the tabs and the displays themselves. Obviously, you've got your standard displays where you've got the ticked claim there. So you've got the date and the claim ID with the relevant claim type that you've put in there. So if it's a specialist appointment, you've got the service type, the relevant provider, practice, the amount and location as we spoke about, and then the relevant payment details there. So the other side of it is, which is the relevant point for the batches. You can click all batches, and then also you've got your HF code, so basically your health fund code information, your sent column, so this will basically indicate whether the claim has gone through and been sent or not. If this has been sent correctly, there'll be a tick mark that'll be displayed on the sent key there, and then you've got your various status columns. If there is a report that's coming through, so this will indicate whether the processing report is retrieved for the claim or not, and then obviously give you the relevant information that's come back for the batch, and then you got your ERA field, which basically indicates whether the ERA report is retrieved for the claim or not. Obviously, if the ERA report is retrieved for a batch, then a tick mark will be displayed on that as well. So just a couple of additional final features just on this screen. Obviously, just at the top, the little shorthand keys and what they represent. It's mostly attributed to the closing off of the batching. When that highlights there, I can't really get that to present up, but obviously you just got to be mindful. We have got the Medicare transmission logs, so that information comes up in the form of the Medicare Australia Online transmission log. Obviously, we just have to be mindful that if Medicare returns an error code on the batch details, then obviously that exception code will be sent back as a relevant sort of notification to the user. So obviously from now onwards, Medicare returns an error code while sending the batch details, then the text claim level element failed will be included in the exception error message. So I just wanted to basically show that there is the transmission log as well as the relevant error code that it is referenced. And I was just hovering back over the shorthand keys there. We've got the send IMC batches for the Medicare Eclipse log, and then obviously the pay off multiple batches thing, also is known as Control B, and then close off the batch. I think for today, that's what we have in today's webinar. Once again, thank you for attending. Don't forget, for any interactive Q&A, please log on to our live chat that's available on www.medtech.global.com. Remember to scroll down to AU support for any questions you may have directly related to any of our webinar material, or email us on supportau@medtechglobal.com. Thanks for listening in.